I just completed step 5 of 5 in preparation to write the zero draft for my work in progress, TruthSayer. And I did it in 2 weeks. That's right, you heard me. 2 weeks. And now I need a break from it. I just need a break. But first, I said when I completed step 4 of 5, I would do a video covering the changes to my work in progress. And that's today's video. And boy, there are changes coming, but I can say I am happy and excited about these changes because I can finally say that I have a direction for TruthSayer that I'm happy with. But let's go over what you'll get in this video. Timestamps down below, so if you want to jump to the part you want to know, you can. First, I'll go over how I went from nearly being done with step 3 through step 4, which I had to condense 415 scenes of a novel down to less, all the way to step 5, where I had to go back over my novella scenes list just to all in 2 weeks. I will then cover the direction of TruthSayer. This will include the changes that are being made, and I'll give you what the next step is for me to start writing the zero drafts for TruthSayer. Then I'll move on over to why I'm taking a break from TruthSayer, what I plan on doing during that break, and then we'll wrap this video up with the future of the bi-weekly update videos. Whew, that was a lot. What up, interwebs? I'm Tim Green. This is my writing channel. And if you go on to enjoy this video, I'd love it if you smash that like button as a prayer to the holy algorithm. Also subscribe. I have great content. Let's get started. Besides the question of what the changes are to TruthSayer, the biggest question asked, and I said the biggest question asked, is how did you complete roughly 2.5 steps in but 2 weeks? When step 4 is condensing 415 scenes into, well, a lot less than that. The answer is quite simple. I didn't touch that ridiculously long scenes list, and in fact plan to add more scenes to it in the future. So it's easy to check it off the list when you don't need to do it. So I was able to go right to step 5 when I completed step 3. Only I was able to immediately check that off the list because, again, I didn't do it. Well, since I no longer plan to write all the zero drafts at the same time, or have novellas, I was done when I completed step 3, which I did last week. But the reasons why steps 4 and 5 no longer exist tie directly into the changes to TruthSayer. If you were to watch all my TruthSayer update videos, including the bi-weekly update videos, you would see one consistent theme through them all. That theme being,
I have no clue what I want TruthSayer to be.
Because we are now entering in the 3rd year of TruthSayer's project being in existence. And in that time frame, I kid you not, it has gone from being a short story to a novel to a trilogy with 3 intro novellas, back to a novel for like a day, then to a trilogy. But this time we're going to have 6 intro novellas, then to a standalone again, but a grand epic standalone, then to a novella. No, back to a novel. Oh, this time it's going to be a novel with 6. No, I'm sorry, 5. 4 intro novellas. Oh, and then I decided that TruthSayer no longer needed to be my debut novel. So it can be longer than I planned on it being. Then it got long. Real long. Too long. Oh, and the ending sucks now. Well, not sucks, just not as good as I thought it was going to be. Because it got a new ending. A better ending. I like this ending. But the story doesn't fully point to this ending. But I like the ending. I'm going to go with the ending. This makes the novel even longer. See, I have no clue what I want TruthSayer to be. You can still say I still don't know what I want it to be, but I do know what it's gonna be, and that's gonna be a Kindle Vella series. If you do not know what Kindle Vella is, you can check out this video right here where I actually dive into it. But just to be a really quick explanation, it's Amazon's version of Wattpad. The only difference is you publish on Kindle Vella, you start monetizing and making money off your work as soon as people start buying chapters. That's what Kindle Vella is. And that's what I'm going to do. And for me, for as much material I have, it just makes so much sense. Also, I just don't want to scrap it all. And it's needed to tell Sing's journey. This means that monster scenes list for the novel doesn't need to be shortened. And it's why I'm going to expand upon those scenes and add it out, flesh out more scenes, not just for the novel, but the novellas as well. Because there's so much more to this world. And to confine it to 4 novellas and a novel, no, I just can't do it. I can't! I really want to explore this world and dive into it and really see what the world of TruthSayers looks like.
Which is a huge contrast to my original idea and desire for this series.
I didn't want to dive into it. I didn't think there was much to this world to expand upon, and if I could, it'd be way too hard.
But the last few months has told me that's not the case anymore. I have so many ideas for this story, for Sing's journey, as well as other characters that play an important role in the story. So instead of doing novellas, I'm going to do volumes, and it's about time I let the cat out of the bag on this. You see, there was always going to be two versions of the story. The novellas was going to cover TruthSayer, what I've been calling this series and referring to it on this channel since its conception. And then you had Truthbringer. This was going to be the title of the standalone novel, which makes more sense because, well, this is overall a chosen one story, but a unique one, not your typical one. If I'm doing arcs, it makes sense to do TruthSayer and Truthbringer, but I'm not planning to do just two. Well, I'm planning to do three. You see, it would be Truthreader would be the shortest. This would be from the start of Sing's journey up to when he finds out he's a TruthSayer. Then TruthSayer would cover Sing as he becomes a TruthSayer, the rise and fall of his partnership with his mentor Tavok, as well as his desire for grand adventure to be a TruthSayer, to his desire to have nothing to do with either of them. Truthbringer would be the climactic end to the overall story. Sorry, I can't explain it because, well, it's spoilers and, it's the end of the story. Oh, and by the way, I have ideas for a fourth volume, but I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do that volume. The story I wanted to tell is going to be covered in those 3 volumes. This would be an expansion on this, would continue after that. And the story was always going to have a decisive conclusion to the story I wanted to tell, but leave events open for future stories, whether I told them or not. But now that you know the changes being made to TruthSayer, what does this mean for the zero drafts? I still plan to do the zero drafts for TruthSayer this year. Well, I should start getting used to saying Truthreader now because that's the first arc. All this is going to happen after I take my break from TruthSayer. That's when I'm going to come back and do the zero draft for it. How long that will take, I have no clue. Or if I'll even do the zero draft this year. And yes, I know I just said a moment ago, I still plan to do it. And again, I still plan to, but there's a lot of things to take into consideration. And one of the big things is, when it comes to TruthSayer, I've noticed that plans seem to change a lot. It really depends on how long the break I take is. And how long that break takes all depends on how long it takes me to complete what I'm going to do during the break. And then you have to consider that I have no immediate plans to start writing the first arc after the zero draft for Truthreader is done. And this is simply because when the zero draft is done, I have to go through and make maps of everything. We're talking the world, locations. We're not just talking broad maps. We're talking every place there's a scene, there will be some kind of map of. When I don't do that, oh, it's a trog, and I never get much writing done. I do like a scene and I'm done for the day, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And then I'm not doing the typical route for publication for TruthSayer anymore, and I don't want it to be the first thing I publish anymore. What's the point of writing the zero draft this year if I'm not going to continue working on it after this? But again, I might just do it to have it out of the way, and then do another one when I start. I don't know. But it's something I'll worry about after the break. So this is a good time to talk why I'm taking a break and what I'm going to be doing during it. I need a break from TruthSayer, and I need one for many reasons, but the most obvious one is for the last several months I've been working at TruthSayer hard to get it done.
With a few small breaks in between.
Which is why I didn't get much work done on those early steps. I was working on other stuff during those weeks as well, other stories. But for the last 3-4 weeks, I've been going hard at TruthSayer to get the things done, completed. Not just to get it done, but mostly because I wanted to have it ready for me to start the zero drafts when I came back to it after the break. Other reasons consist of I've been struggling with Arthurial record for a while now. Okay, since its existence, the idea of having all my stories pop up in a multiverse. Almost a decade.
Almost a decade?
Almost a decade now. Sure, I know how it begins. I know how it ends. I even have ideas and stories and series in between. But I don't know what purpose they serve. I have no clue what role they serve for the overall story. Hell, I only have a few key characters that have prominent roles in the overall story. So I decided it's time. I need to know what the story is fully. I need to put an outline together for a thorough record for the full story and how everything fits into it. I have a game plan for this break, because I want to accomplish a lot during this time, which is why I was so determined to complete the scenes list for TruthSayer. For the rest of September, I'm taking time to really focus in on ideas I want to tell in TruthSayer, come up with ideas, write them out, and it's how I have them, and I'll do the scenes list for those, come to those stories, and where they fit in. I am hopeful with the help of Claude AI, it will go much faster than if it was just me. So there are 2 phases for this break. First is a thorough record, which I mentioned, and then the writing game plan. But let's go more deeply into these 2 phases so you know what I'm trying to accomplish. We're going to start with our ethereal record. For our ethereal record, I want to know every novella series, novel series, Kindle Vella series, etc. What arc they take place in. I also need to know the purpose of each story, each series, and why it exists. And it is okay for a series, a standalone, a Kindle Vella series to exist solely just to flesh out the world. Hell, I would love to have so many more of these standalones, series, or novels that just flesh out Shattered World, but I just don't think I'm going to have the time to do that. On top of that, I need a timeline of events, from what kicked off everything of the story I'm doing, all the way through of everything where it falls to the end. Put a timeline so I know where things fall around. And there's more, I'm sure of it, but I think I'm forgetting it, but of what I want to get done for a theory record during this. But that will do for now. So with that said, let's move on to the game plan. So my game plan, if you think you know what it is, and you are certain, I guarantee you're wrong. Because I bet you're thinking this is going to be the writing plan for what series I'll write first and all that stuff. And if you said that, you are wrong. It does have something to do with publishing, but just not with stories. One of the reasons why I removed the flashbacks from TruthSayer and originally put them into novellas was due to publishing. I am not going to be publishing these traditional route. I'm going to be doing it indie route. That's all on me. And I have zero experience doing this. So I'm going to make mistakes. And I'd rather make mistakes on something smaller, like a novella, than, let's say, epic fantasy series. So I'm going to take Daniel Green's advice and start my publishing journey with a novella. From there, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a novella series next, or I'll go to just a standalone novel. I'm not sure. And because I have a few ideas for this already, I probably will start with this one first, because you never know, this might actually help me at some point while working on a ethereal record. Fine, I'll answer the burning question on your mind. What about the bi-weekly update videos? They were supposed to be weekly when you move to the 0 drafts. Nothing's happening to them. They will continue for the time being, but they will continue as bi-weekly. But I can't say they're going to be the same format. I don't think there'll be a percentage bar saying how much I've completed because I don't know how much I've completed. And the next one coming on October 10th. Now you are up to date on TruthSayer and some other things as well. So if you enjoyed this video, please why don't you go smash that like button as a prayer to the holy algorithm. Oh, and subscribe because of awesome content. Speaking of that awesome content, I'm going to put 2 videos right here on screen that you should check out that I think can help you. And I'll see you in one of them. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.